So we'll start off by talking a little bit about your debut album that you're soon to release.
Yes.
When's the release date?
It's early May.
Early May,
Yeah.
okay. And how did you find the writing and recording process for the album?
Well, the writing had kind of happened over about 3 years. Some of the songs
really?
are quite old, and some of them are brand new, and so it's kind of, a mixture of the two. The recording was a mixture of the two as well, because I recorded a lot of it in my bedroom.
Oh
But
yeah, I
then-
was going to ask, yeah.
Yeah, because a lot of the early stuff was recorded in my room. But I tracked drums and bass in a studio for the album tracks, and
Okay.
and then it got mixed in a studio. So
Okay, cool.
bit of a step up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it was a big difference then when you...
Sounds different. Yeah.
It's a big difference in the sound. So tell me about the actual sound of the album. What kind of what influences have you used?
Well, a lot of the influences are kind of sample based. Like hip hop,
Yes.
soul. It's got everything from punk to reggae to breakbeat. So it's all kind of revolving around that.
So what would you describe your kind of genre if you had to put yourself?
It's tricky.
Or do you prefer not to put yourself into a genre?
I don't know. I mean, I guess it's just like alternative pop.
Okay.
I would say, or like indie pop.
Yeah.
Because it's it is essentially pop music, but it's just done in quite a personal, characterful way.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's your favourite song that you've written on the album? For the album.
For the album. Well, the one that means the most to me is the last track on the album,
Okay.
which is called "Gone Forever," and that one. I think that one.
What was your kind of
is,
thought process behind the writing of that song?
Well, it was about my dad, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it means a lot to you personally.
Yeah.
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 Okay. How do you think? Have you performed that song before?
No.
Okay. So
So I'll be interested.
would you say there's an overall message to throughout the whole album?
Yeah, I would. I suppose a lot of them are kind of coming of age songs, and discovering love and all the different kinds of love, and
Okay.
but then it's also about life and sort of just experiences and kind of reflecting on those.
Okay.
It's quite a simple message, I suppose. It's just coming of age experience.
Cool. So we'll go on to talk a little bit more about your music in general.
Mhm.
Is there a song on the album that you feel represents you the best as kind of a person?
I think they all represent me in a way. They all kind of represent different sides to my character.
Yes.
Because that's kind of also, I'm a bit of a musical schizophrenic. Like
Okay.
1 minute I'll be making
Yeah.
a punk song, the next minute I'll go off and do, something completely different. Like
Depending how the day takes you, or
Exactly,
how you
depending
feel.
on how I'm feeling, or
Exactly. Yeah.
just like humans are multifaceted and have different kind of aspects to their personality. I guess the music does too. It comes
Yeah.
from a very like direct personal place. So I'd say they all represent a side to me. Yeah.
Would you say there's a song that written by somebody else that you've taken a lot of influence from, and maybe that reflects your way of thinking as well?
Oh, that's a good one.
Or are there any artists that you particularly have taken influence from? Today's music, or a lot of stuff from other generations as well?
I suppose it's like a lot of it is 80s
Yeah.
and 90s guitar music,
Okay.
but then also
kind of the Britpop.
bit of that, a bit of the post-punk,
Yeah.
and like the Cure and things like that, and the Kinks. But then there's also like 50s kind of rock and roll, and there's
Okay. Cool.
like 60s reggae, and
Yeah.
it's just a big old 90s hip hop.
How would you
Particularly
describe, coming from what you just said, how would you describe your kind of overall image, like your look?
I guess it's
From,
like
maybe a little bit 50s?
modern gentleman, like,
Yeah.
but it's like, it's like got a kind of classic silhouette of the 50s.
Yeah.
but then the textures and the patterns are quite modern, I guess, and quite pop arty.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cool. Do you find that that kind of helps you define yourself as well, the fashion?
Yeah, well, I think they're really connected, and because I went to art school for 3 years.
Oh yeah.
So that had a big effect on I guess how you represent yourself, clothing wise, and
yes.
So that, I guess that kind of taught me a lot.
Did you go to school in London? Are you from the London area?
I'm from London.
Okay, can you tell me about the most memorable gig or concert that you've played? One that particularly stood out for you? However small or...
Well, there was actually one in Norway, in Bergen.
Oh, wow.
And we went over there, not having any kind of idea of what it was going to be like, let alone how many people would be there. And we packed out a tent of like 800 people.
Oh, really?
We'd never played in Norway before, so
That's amazing.
That was really cool.
How were the crowd in Norway?
They were loving it.
Really?
Yeah. They were really going for it, like clapping, like in the middle of the song, and like shouting.
Oh, that's great. So you came off stage with a great feeling.
It was electric.
Imagine. Yeah. Do you feel like the reaction of the crowd changes when you play solo concerts, or is it to when you're sort of as part of a festival, or?
Yeah, I would say the solo things I do, like sessions and things like that, it's always a lot more intimate, and the music kind of comes across, I guess, a bit less punky and energetic, so it's a bit more soulful.
Okay.
And I guess that affects like how people interact with it.
Do you play with a band, and how did you bring your band together?
I do play with a band, and it's taken me a while actually to find the right band.
Yes.
Some of them are friends, some of them are like friends of friends. The last member I got was the drummer, and that was what really kind of got things moving in the live world. Yeah. Because I had those.
The solo came together.
Exactly. Yeah. Because I had all those samples, that were quite hard to play in a way. They're quite like old school. And then I found a drummer who could do that really, really well.
Really, yeah.
So,
cool.
Yeah.
And what are we going to hear from you this evening in your gig this evening?
You are going to hear bits off the EP and bits off the album. So we're going to play about 9 tracks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. We're looking forward to it. And just to finish off then, do you have anything that you would like to say to the readers of the upcoming?
Keep watching.